well, when you get to 32 and you've got 2 kids and, you're working 14 hours a day and you don't have time to meal prep and you don't have time to this. And, it's hard to work out work in your workout schedule in your day. Tell me if you really plan on working out for the rest of your life. If that's a decision. And I think if you say, look, today is one workout of 10,000 more that I'm going to make. Is that aesthetic look good going to get you past workout 1,542? Is it going to get you past those, right?
Right.
And these benefits, to me, that allows you to say, okay, hey, I've got 9,999 more, and I'm excited about all of them because of all these things.
Let's talk about the benefits.
Yeah, let's get into
the
it.
True benefits.
Without holding it up any longer. Benefit number 1 that nobody talks about to me. So we've heard probably 1,001 times, the benefits of physical activity, working out, all that good stuff, right? It's as old as time. Everybody knows. So just to run through, what are a couple of things that you guys hear typically that are the benefits of physical activity or working out?
Just off the top?
Yeah, what do you hear most, would you say?
Confidence. It's a confidence builder.
Okay.
Yeah. Energy,
yep.
increased energy.
Yep.
Look good.
Yep. Better movement quality.
Better flexibility. Yeah. Mobility.
More strength, more stamina, all that good stuff. Yeah. So you think it's safe to say you probably typically think of the physical benefits of working out, right? Makes you feel good, makes you look good. You're better. You're more active. You're able to keep up with your kids, whatever. Today, I came up with a list of benefits or reasons that nobody talks about. These aren't necessarily physical benefits. These are more ancillary benefits that to me translate to everyday life. And that for whatever reason, fitness influencers, whoever you follow out there for your fitness advice, they don't really touch on these things very often. And I think they're so important because the vast majority of us just want to look good and feel a little bit better, right? That's why we work out. But I think there's some benefits that a sustained program can give you, and that's what we want to talk about today. But before we get there, what would you guys say society tells us is the number one reason people should work out?
Health. That's got to be heart.
Yeah.
Health.
Okay.
That'd be number 1.
Yeah, I think long-term health is probably what's pushed out there kind of as an overriding theme. I think very, very, very close second is just the aesthetics of it, right?
Yeah.
So
I guess y'all are following like New York Times Daily Journal or something.
Yes, absolutely.
Look on Instagram. The number 1 reason you work out is so you can look good.
Yeah.
That's the number 1 reason.
Oh,
it's not about health.
Right.
It's not about longevity.
Right.
Yeah.
Well,
So now we know how old you two are. Oh yeah, my heart health, my omegas will be taken care of if I train well.
I actually reduced my LCL cholesterol, and now my artery blockage is.
That question really backfired on me. I was hoping you
was
guys
like my
would
movie
lead
ones the
me
other
in-
day.
that's the obvious, though. That would be the obvious. Of course,
That's what I said. What's the number 1
Yeah,
reason
but we had
society?
to think about it. That was a trick question.
Yeah. You always are trying to set us up for sure.
Man, now I know who the last 2 subscribers for Reader's Digest are right here in this room. So the point I was making is you think of looks.
Yes.
How do I look in my bikini? How do I look in my board shorts?
Yeah.
That's the number 1 thing that people talk about on Instagram, on Twitter, on TikTok with their dances.
The TikTok.
Right? So
And the Google.
I guess before we get to the ancillary benefits, because this has been a big driver for me since I really started getting into training my freshman year in college, was how do I look?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Girls was always an issue for me growing up.
Right.
Trying to get girls to like me, right? You just got to see my 8th grade picture. Hey. That was it's rough.
We'll get it up live. We'll get it up live on the gram.
It's
sure.
rough. It's rough. In fact, DJ, in this moment, I'll send you a picture on YouTube. Put up my picture. It's rough. And so when I got into training my freshman year in college, that was my number 1 goal. Was like, I've got to get that 6-pack.
Right.
I've got to look good.
Yeah.
so girls will like me. I equated bigger bench press, 6-pack abs to chicks now all of a sudden wanted to.
Yeah.
All it did was attract more dudes asking, how much I bench press. So it didn't really have the intended benefit or the intended effect. But
I'll agree with you, but disagree with you as well, because I struggled. I think confidence, like I think socially with women or girls, young women at that age, and so I know for me, and I would say probably the hardest I ever worked out for a period of time was right before my senior trip.
Yeah,
I went to Mexico. That was probably the hardest. I mean, I went from 225 to like 205. I probably went. I mean, at the time, off a wrestling season, I was probably like walking around at like 11, 12% body fat. I would say, I'm not kidding you, I was probably sub 8%, 7%. For and no offense, but like for a white guy, like that's a fairly low body fat percentage, especially for an 18-year-old kid.
8%?
Sub 8%.
Yeah, that's like bodybuilder on stage style.
Right.
Yeah, that's
and
ridiculous.
so it was like, but I'll say this though, is there was a direct correlation to confidence, and then confidence also with girls at that age.
Yeah.
And so I would think that was the very first time, because I put in like 4 months from like March to June, March, April, May. Yeah. March to June. I was grinding. And that was the first trip in Puerto Vallarta, Mexico with Invasion
You were a
Tours.
senior?
I was a senior. It was my senior trip. And it was the first time I was ever like able to go up and talk to girls ever.
You know what mine was, man? I was in high school, and working out wasn't, in my freshman year, working out wasn't that big of a deal. You played football and whatnot. And I remember I was going to play up on the varsity team as a sophomore. And I remember that off-season program. I was still a freshman, and I was watching the varsity guys work out in the weight room. And they were getting underweight. And I was like, holy shit, there's no way I can show up next year unless I get up under that weight.
And then you're in practice, right? And a senior puts his hands on you. There's a big difference between
a huge difference.
18.
So that's where my mind, it was like, I need to perform. Matter of fact, I had a buddy of mine whose father, Gary, Benham was, he would push us in the off season. My buddy Chad and his father would just push us that season, because I just felt like I needed to get stronger.
Yeah.
Because I would have got my ass knocked around. So it was more of a confidence thing for me.
Yeah. For us normal human beings, we care too much about what people think. So a lot of us, I'll speak for me, I started to develop an unhealthy relationship with working out. I equated working out with value, with how I looked. And if I didn't look a certain way, then, I didn't, there was no value. You know what I mean? Like body dysmorphia, they call it. Yeah. So I had an intense struggle. And it's still something, it's not my main driver today, but it's still something in the back of my mind. I think about, I'm not, I'm not thin enough. Or
which is
too much body
not
fat.
Uncommon. Right. I would say, from 18 to 45, right? Like that window, I think, culturally, there's a huge percentage of the population that struggles with that exact same thing.
And what it does is, again, it created this unhealthy relationship with training. And so now I only think of training and the benefits that it can give me physically. Yeah. And I would only think about the way that I looked was the main drive. Now, again, that carried me for a while. It did really well. The problem is whenever you get to a certain age, things don't happen. No matter how much you train, unless you're going to take outside, testosterone, steroids, whatever, things just slow down. It's just a natural part of aging.
Right.
And so when you're not able to get the results physically that you're looking for, where do you turn to next? Yeah. What's going to keep you going? What's going to be that driver for you to keep going in the gym? And that's what made me think, and over the past few years, my mentality has shifted from, and having kids definitely helps with this shift. You now start to think about your Reader's Digest version of why you train, which is heart health and being able to pick up your kids.
How about this too? And let's just call it what it is. You're married now too.
I'm married. Well, no.
No. You are married now.
I am married now, but
you are married now.
I promise you, not once has it ever entered my mind, I'm married now, I'm good. I don't have to care about what I look like.
No.
Not once has that ever entered my mind.
Yeah, that's okay. So, but at the same time, let's just call it, when you get married, you'll see what normally happens when men get married.
Relax.
Dad bod.
They go dad.
They
bod.
relax.
They let
Yeah.
themselves go, right?
Right.
It's because they're not out there on the street. They're not chasing anymore,
Yeah.
right? So they don't. What's the temptation to? It's not that I have to go and perform as much anymore as far as working out and getting ready and being in front of, being picturesque in front of anybody anymore. Because I'm happy and I'm fat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? I'm just lazy.
Yeah, thankfully for me, that didn't ever cross my mind. It wasn't, I can relax now.
Yeah.
Because I can't tell you and this isn't bragging, this is just a fact. I can't tell you the last time I went more than 2 weeks without working out, ever,
Right.
since I was 18 years old.
Yeah.
Like, it's just been something that's been part of my life. And that's partly because of the reasons I'm going to talk about here in a
and I
little
think
bit.
that's where you're at from a commitment and seeing the ancillary results, not the cosmetic, the visual results of it, right? That's what I think this episode, we want to encourage listeners to shift more to kind of where you're at now, right? Not obviously the stuff you mentioned just a few minutes ago about body dysmorphia and, associating working out with value and identity and stuff like that. But because of what you see now, working out does for you personally. And it did for me forever. And it was more performance-based,
Right.
but I received the benefits that you're experiencing now, but just didn't recognize them in that way.
The true benefits.
But as of late, in the last three months, really kind of making a transformation myself is you see those, man. It's so clear.
Yeah.
It's so clear.
Yeah, and to be clear, if you're sitting here listening to this and you're thinking, hey, all I care about is looking good naked, hey, love it.
Yeah.
Go for it.
Yeah.
Keep
Do
on that
you.
path.
Yeah.
Keep doing you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just talking about for me personally, that ran out. It's run out over the past few years, that motivation. So I had to shift my thinking into and think about other things because again, as you get older, it's just natural. You're not going to get the same results you are as an 18-year-old kid.
That's right.
So if you're not going to get those physical results, what other benefits do you get out of training?
And it's the sustainability, right? The aesthetics of it. At some point it will work out. And I think if you ask any 25-year-old that's like big into fitness, if you say, hey, do you want to be able to work out for the rest of your life? Is this something that's going to be, yeah, of course, absolutely. Well, when you get to 32 and you've got 2 kids and, you're working 14 hours a day and you don't have time to meal prep and you don't have time to this and, it's hard to work out work in your workout schedule in your day. Tell me if you really plan on working out for the rest of your life. If that's a decision, and I think if you say, look, today is one workout of 10,000 more that I'm going to make, is that aesthetic look good going to get you past workout 1,542? Is it going to get you past those, right?
Right.
And these benefits, to me, that allows you to say, okay, hey, I've got 9,999 more, and I'm excited about all of them because of all these things.
Let's talk about the benefits.
Let's get into
the
it.
true benefits.
Without holding it up any longer. Benefit number one that nobody talks about to me. And again, I live in the fitness world. I look around. Nobody talks about this first benefit, which is working out teaches you the power of taking ownership. So when we talk about taking ownership of a situation, what does this mean to you guys?
Meaning it's on me, right? This is on me and it's basically the fact of just being structured in my day and taking the ownership of getting myself on part of if I got to wake up in the morning. It's like it's basically a structure for me, and it creates good habits for me. That's how I look at, when I'm going to work out, man.
Well, I'm just talking about in general. What does taking ownership mean to you?
Taking ownership means in general, like it's on me. Everything falls on me. I can't look outside to blame anyone else.
There you go.
For what I look like.
Bingo. Tyler,
gotta
anything
take
to add to that? Perfect. That was perfect.
Yeah. I mean, really, that's it. Right? Taking ownership is you can't blame anybody else for your failure.
Right.
It's 100% on you.
Yeah. And so that's what I think about when I think of training. Is it teaches me the power of taking ownership, because let's think of money. You could be handed a large sum of money if you win the lottery. You could be handed a job opportunity that maybe you didn't deserve because of the social network that you got, the people that you know. Nobody can hand you a physically fit body. That is not somebody can just
Well,
explain. Tell me how they hand it to you.
Needles back in the day.
Hey, I've seen God bless people that and I want to say like later in life what that really looks like, but let's say 35 and below, I've seen God bless people with bodies that
You're going back to the look thing again. Are they physically fit? Can they go out and run? Can they go out and run 10 miles? Can they play with their kids?
You're right.
Maybe they can.
There
are some freaks of nature that absolutely. What percentage of people do you know today that are freaks?
Okay.
Even Darren's the biggest freak I know.
Yeah.
But Darren, you just said your legs are sore from hiking up a mountain yesterday.
Beat down.
So
yes.
Can somebody hand you a physically fit body today that you can have today?
Okay, so the question was,
I'm very passionate about this because
I get what you're saying, but the question, I understand how Tyler responded to that. No one can just hand you a physically
steroids.
You can look like there's some things that people can do cosmetically to make them look like they're
cosmetically.
But from a function standpoint.
But from a function standpoint, no way. You got to earn that.
To be healthy.
You have to earn it.
But tell me this. Tomorrow, Tyler, if I give you steroids tomorrow, are you going to have the body tomorrow that you want?
No.
If you win the lottery tomorrow, are you going to have the amount of money that you want tomorround?
Well, it depends what
depends on the amount of money.
Right.
My point is, even if I take steroids, there is a certain amount of time it's going to take to work my body. Yeah. I'm still going to have to put effort forth. Is it much easier? Yes. But it still takes time. It still takes effort. I still have to take ownership of where I am. Is it going to happen for me in 2 months? Probably.
Yeah.
Whereas maybe it would happen for me 5 years from now.
Right.
But to me, nobody can hand me the body that I want.
Absolutely.
Or the physical fitness that I want.
I would say
it takes time. No matter who you are.
You can be handed a body that you want, but the physically fit part, the functionality, like if it came down to you having to escape someone attacking you and you had to run 3 miles, you can't hide from that. You can't just show up and be able to sprint 3 miles, right?
Who can hand me the body that I want? Tell me, because I want to meet this person.
Yeah.
I'm not saying a person. I'm not saying a person.
How can I be handed the body I want?
You can't. I know you're raising your hand over there. Matter of fact, why don't you answer that question?
Answer that for me.
Because
then I'll repeat it. Try to make it short because it's an awkward long pause. If you.
Surgeon.
Yeah, but it's surgery. But that's still go ahead.
Have you seen somebody who's had surgery? It's not a desirable look.
Look up Joy Chavez. She's like a huge in fitness and stuff, and she says she got her entire body from surgery.
Okay.
She's had 2 kids. She works out like a freak.
She does what?
But she had surgery.
Yeah.
She doesn't advertise.
But what we're going back to is that they didn't hand her the body and say, "Okay, go ahead, you're fine." She already had a banging body, right? But there's work. There's got to be here it is, man. It's not like we have to look at it and say, handing the body. There has to be a foundation there.
Right.
Mm-hmm. There's got to be, you have to put the work in order, and even with her, she's probably put the work in, and then she's...
You do. I think the genetics play on what kind of work and the amount of work. So like I would say, like, just to be honest, the Klutz gene has to work out very different than like my buddy Shane, Seibert, and I'm gonna throw his name out there. Like his genes are very different than the Klutz's, right? Yeah. And so you're right, and he works his tail off, and I'm not saying he doesn't, but I think that the amount of work that somebody and the discipline for one person may be different. But you're right, you don't just arrive there. Because, and I'm thinking back, like, the guys I played with, like, okay, for example, there's a guy, Greg Jones, was a fullback for Jacksonville for a long time.
Yeah, big boy.
Literally the biggest freak physically. But then I'm like discounting the fact that he actually worked out hard too. Like, could I ever look like him? No, I could never look like him. But
and again, we're getting back to the look.
You said it, but you keep taking it back there. You keep saying, no, give me the body that I want.
Body that you want. We got to rephrase
from
the question.
Functionality. I'm 100%. 100% physically fit is different than aesthetically good.
That's my
because I agree. I think you may not get all of it, but I think surgically and genetically, like those are two things that you didn't necessarily earn, you were given, that help you get closer to that goal. But the physical fit, like actually having to go perform, like if you were to say, okay, you look like a freak, you look like Tarzan, but go complete a Murph right now in under 40 minutes. Can you do it? No, like you're not given that.
Right.
But
no, you're right. And I was wording it incorrectly. When I think of physical fitness,
Thank you. That means a lot. Thank you for admitting that.
Actually admitted something.
I'll admit when I'm wrong all the time.
Got a call.
So yes, you can have surgery. You can be given the body that you want.
Yeah.
But when we talk about the health benefits of working out, what we listed off are the energy, stamina, strength, all that good stuff. That can't be handed to you overnight.
Yeah.
Right. You can look a certain way overnight, I guess. So we just talked about surgery, but you can't be handed physical fitness overnight.
That's right.
That's my point.
Yeah.
Is it forces me to take ownership of my situation. Yeah. If I'm not in the shape that I want to be, nobody can do it for me. Nobody can put in the work for me. I have to take ownership of that.
Well, let's talk about the ownership side of it and like why fitness teaches you the ownership, like outside of just I have to put in the work, right? The ownership that you mentioned early on, and this will probably lead us into our next point, is the ownership is nobody else is going to, as an adult, 99% of the time, nobody else is going to wake you up in the morning to get a workout in before you've got to go to work or before you got to get the kids ready to go or whatever it is. Like nobody is in your head telling you you've got to finish what you've set out to do. It's the ownership aspect. Like I can't blame anybody else for me cutting that workout short or not going, or if we're talking about, we're talking about overall fitness and nutrition and all that, like eating like I did over the 4th of July weekend, right? I got nobody to blame but myself for that. But I think the ownership side of it, I mean, that's really important because now we had the episode talking about internal dialogue, right? And we're talking about the chatter in your brain, right? The ownership is overcoming the chatter in your brain telling you not to finish this, not to do that. You're not good enough. You shouldn't do this. Just go watch Netflix instead of working out. The ownership is, dude, if you listen to chatter, man, it's on you. Yeah. There's nobody else. And think about how many other areas of life that ownership, that sense of ownership can be applied to. If you can train yourself in the fitness, you talk about it all the time. Fitness is the number one exercise, and literally and metaphorically, the number one exercise for teaching you things like this. Yeah. Discipline, ownership, longevity, perseverance, all those things that come through it, because it's a very tangible way to train yourself in those areas.
Man, I like the fact when we talk about ownership, like when ownership leads to success, right? When you own things and you know it's on you to do things, there's like, it's a build-up process. It's like you at some point you're going to start generating some success because you're owning it, right? But think about the qualities that it shows your family members, your kids, your friends. When you own it, and your kids see you wake up in the morning, which Coop sees you every single day, wake up in the morning at 4 o'clock in the morning and get that workout in. Look how impressive is that? Because he's always going to remember how his dad worked and put the work in. Right. So it speaks not only for yourself, it speaks for those that are watching as well.
Yeah. And to me, that translates to my job, my everyday job. Yeah. I have to take ownership of my physical wellness and my physical fitness. I translate that to my day job as well. Where am I? Am I where I want to be? Yes or no? Only I can answer that. And only I can take ownership of that, of where I am in my career. Now, obviously, opportunities, things like that. But if it's up to me, I'm going to take that same mindset. That same approach of, hey, I'm going to take ownership of the situation I am in my career. Right? Yes, I need people to help me along the way, but there is a lot that I can be doing myself to help me get to where I want to go.
That's right.
Benefit number 2, nobody talks about. Working out teaches you how to do hard things. Yeah. That's a simple statement. Yeah. But there's a lot of power in that statement. Yeah. Working out is hard. Yes. I don't care if it's the best part of your day. It's like it is mine. It really is the best part of my day. It's still hard. I still have those times where I'm like, I really don't want to do this. This sucks. Yeah. But what it does is it teaches me to do things that are difficult that I may not necessarily want to do.
It teaches you confidence. Again, we go back to confidence. When you go through hard things, and I remember going through those processes of running 110s before the season started, man.
16 110s?
16 110s, man. And there was a time, and I think if you played sports, and played football.
Apparently, though, what's funny about those 110s is apparently it's legally only allowed in June and July to run 110s.
Yeah, that's it.
It's the only time, I guess, in the United States that you're allowed to run 110s.
But you're going through that process, man, and how hard, it wasn't just the physical aspect of it. It was the mental aspect of going through something that was just, really hard on the body, physically hard on the body. You thought about it leading up to that juncture. And then you accomplish it, man. And it's just, it's a sense of accomplishment. It's a sense of confidence that now I can apply it to, like you just said, Ben, I can apply it to other things in my life to say, I can get through these things.
Yeah. So one thing, and I'm sure you saw this because you're a big fan of his, but Jocko posted something this morning, and he was talking about his morning routine. And like people always ask me about my morning routine and all this. And he's like, you know what I do? Is I get up and I do something that I don't want to do first thing. I do something that's hard that makes the rest of my day that much easier because I did something hard and I accomplished something hard and I got myself to go run that 110. Right. I got myself on that white line, hand down, ready to run in 110-degree Dallas heat, right? Like, and everything else after that seems to be easier because I woke up the day and I did something hard, did something I didn't want to do.
Yeah, I mean, I think about that all the time. This is like my workout. This is likely the hardest thing physically I'm going to have to do all day long. Because of the nature of what we do for a living. It's more of a desk job. Now, some people, they have active jobs. I get it. But for me personally, this is the hardest thing I'm going to do all day more than likely.
Right.
So if I can do this, what about that work deadline that I'm stressing out about? What about my kids when they're throwing a fit?
Yeah.
I can do this because the hardest part of my day has already been done. It's already been conquered at 4:30 this morning.
Yeah.
So that's what I think about is it teaches me the ability to do hard things.
Yeah, and to that, it's so true because yes, like getting yourself, pumped up to do something physical, whether it's a workout or it's a conditioning test or whatever it is, right? The reality is that's a fear, right? You have a fear that I'm not going to be able to accomplish this, or I have a fear that like I'm going to be hurt because of this, or whatever it is, right? And that's a very tangible, and I don't know where y'all feel it. I feel it like in my upper stomach, like lower chest, like that's where I feel that fear. Well, guess what? I feel that fear as I take on other tasks at work, or hey, I've got to do something at the house, or if you train yourself,
you normalize the fear
to attack that, but then you recognize it and you're like, okay, look, I'm afraid, instead of just not doing it because like my natural reaction to that is just to kind of go away and avoid that, right? Is okay. Now we're going to take it on. One of the things that like, I don't know, probably over the last like 3 months or so that like I felt like, okay, this is something that I feel like I'm just avoiding. Like I know that I need to, but like I'm totally avoiding it. It's okay, look, getting in my car, driving 15 minutes east on road 455, going north on 75, and driving up another 40 minutes to Durant, Oklahoma to Choctaw Casino and Resort. It's something that like, I know that like I can't, it's hard to do. And I have this fear of like, okay, I'm going to go up there and like, it's not going to be everything that like they tell me it is. But guess what?
It is.
We went last week.
Absolutely.
And overcame that fear of driving up there and seeing that new expansion that opens up in August. Seeing the new resort, seeing the new restaurant, seeing the new pools. I mean, the casino itself, I mean, it's like second to none. I mean, that sports bar there, it's unbelievable. But I overcame that fear partly because of working out, partly because of the last few months, I get to, one of my workout classes and I look at it like, there's no way that I can do this. But you know what? I'm going to overcome it. It's that same thing when I got in my car and drove over to 75 and went north.
I'd compare it to like, how when you get a new car, right? Your old car was great.
Yeah.
And you loved your old car. Right. It was awesome. But all of a sudden now compared to that new car, your old car looks like a beat up piece of.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
It's hard to like go through the whole thing in the day of like, hey, I got to go to the dealership. I got to deal with the salesman. Yeah. I got to like, but when you overcome that, like just actually, okay, hey, it's not that hard of a drive.
Yeah. Well, you took a lot deeper than I was. I just meant that's what it felt. That's what I kept thinking about. Their other facility was great, huge, massive facility. It was awesome. But compared to what this new facility is, it's night and day difference. It was unreal.
It's insane
what this new expansion is going to be.
And I mean,
be
think
like
about the fact if you get over your fear and you're up there in the month of July, they're giving over $1.4 million away in the month of July, right? They're giving Corvettes away. You go up and you play with your rewards card. You're entered to win. Like you have a chance. Every single week they are giving away a portion of $700,000 for the rest of the month. Like it's crazy what they're giving away. And John Party just played. played right before the 4th of July. I mean, you got Miranda Lambert, you got Leonard Skinner, you got Whiskey Myers, you got Aaron Watson. I mean, this list in this incredible venue. I talked to John Party's wife after the show. She goes, that seriously is one of our favorite places to play because the acoustics are so good.
Yeah, the event
it's just
center.
an incredible. That wasn't me name dropping. I grew up with John's wife.
name dropper.
You did, John.
But-
you did name
but
drop
anyways-
on
Hey, I
that
know
one.
Darren
Yeah,
Woodson. I don't know.
Yeah.
But anyways, make sure, hey, overcome that gut. Learn how to do something hard. Get in your car, drive up 75. You will not regret going to Choctaw Casino and
I'll say
Resorts.
this: that tour, the slot machines, the new restaurants that are there, the outdoor facilities. Take your kids.
Yeah.
We're going to take our kids this summer.
teach
the
them-
rest
teach
in
them
August
blackjack
probably.
early.
Teach them some blackjack. But I tell you what, Choctaw Casino and Resort is a special place. Continue. If you haven't gone, please take the tour up there and go see the facilities.
Amen. Benefit number 3, and I buried this at number 3. To me, this is far and away the best lesson I've learned from working out.
Yeah.
And it's a lesson that's so hard for me to apply, even though I've applied it so long in my physical training. Benefit number 3, nobody talks about. Working out teaches you how to keep going without immediate results. Now, disregard the surgeries that we talked about earlier. Because, again, that's the look side. We're talking more about the feeling and the stamina and the strength that come from physical training. But to me, there are no immediate results when a sustained approach is your goal from working
But
out.
it also teaches you in that process to monitor yourself as far as, where you are
gonna get
strength wise.
Yeah,
You
dude,
just-
slow
you
down.
just-
Slow down.
you just revealed number 4. Go ahead.
Okay,
number 3.
You read the study guide before,
I
apparently.
did. I saw I cheated. I cheat. Okay, so where were we on that?
But
We're back to
think
like-
about the immediate result. Think about building a business,
Yeah.
Darren.
Yeah.
You've built a couple of businesses,
Yeah.
right?
It just-
your business isn't profitable on day one. No matter
it's-
how
it's
much you
going
want
to
it to
take-
be, it
man,
takes time.
It takes time, but you have to be willing to that, and that's how you sort of lose people as well, though, through that process. Is that if they're not seeing those results, people will fall off.
Yeah.
It's just a part of when you work out. If you worked out over a number of years, you know that you're not going to see
Yeah.
it, man. And you gotta pour it in, pour it in,
and
pour it in.
that's why, from personal experience, the physical benefits of training, that's why it's dangerous. That's the only reason that you do it.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
physical benefits don't come quickly.
And you as a personal trainer, right? You spent years training people. Imagine if your sales pitch was, hey, listen, you're going to have to hire me for the next 25 years. Like, for you to really get the results you want.
that
Right?
wouldn't
Not
go
a great, that doesn't
That's the
sound
truth.
great, right? Like,
But-
that's why transformations, right? 90-day, 30-day, 6-month transformations, that's why it's so big, is because people say, okay, hey, I can set my mind and say, okay, at this date, if you just tell me by this date, I'm going to reach my goal, I can work as hard as I need to for that, right? That's why people work out for vacations, right? Coming up, okay, 3 months out, I know that I can work out for 3 months. But what you're talking about is, no, I've got to just chip away at it. And I've got to say, hey, look, I know that I'm not going to get the results next year that I want. It may be 10 years.
Right.
It may be whatever. Or maybe it's just a sustainable goal that I'm trying to make sure that I stay there. But this is huge because, and you're talking about raising kids.
Yeah.
I mean, that's 18 years of grinding, of very, very, very few wins along the way, right?
Enough to keep that carrot dangling out.
You know what I mean? But it just teaches you that, like, listen, what is the ultimate goal? Like I said, 10,000, get to 10,000 workouts. That's what I got to get to. It's not, hey, in 150 workouts now I'm going to be this shredded beast. It's no, I got to get through 10,000 workouts and I got to keep grinding, because who usually wins? It's the ones that outlast the others.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Keep
Yeah.
putting
This
it
is the hardest lesson, because again, I'm looking through social media. I'm comparing myself to other people in business. It's easy for me to get caught up in, I'm just making these small little gains. I'm not really doing anything. Like, this isn't working. But what working out has taught me is that, no, just keep putting in the work day after day. Those small incremental gains eventually add up, and those are more sustainable. That's a habit that I'm creating, as opposed to just getting a quick
So
fix.
you're saying don't take off your shirt and look at yourself in the mirror the whole time and while you're
You
working
can-
out?
hey, if that's what you want to do,
Is
do that.
And I'm just asking.
Hey,
I don't have
I'm gonna make
mirrors in
another
my
movie
garage
reference,
for
and
that.
neither one of you guys is going to get it. Just Silence of the Lambs.
Oh, we know Silence of the Lambs. Oh,
Never seen it, but I know what you're talking about.
I do, me.
That dude was crazy, man.
Yeah, but I guess the biggest struggle is the constant thought of, is this working?
Took you to a dark place, didn't it, Darren?
That dude was disgusting, man.
I guess the biggest thought I have is this working?
Yeah.
Am I doing the right things?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because again, I take this to my day job. Is making these calls really doing anything? Is doing these small little projects really getting me anywhere? It's hard to see the long-term gain that these
In the moment.
that these 1-inch gains are making.
It's the retroactive when you're like,
Right.
okay, I can see it now.
Yeah.
How all those little tiny wins along the way, they added up to get to where I am today. And that's what like you said, like when we're talking about fitness, and we're not saying like, hey, look, this is all about why you need to go get in shape. We're just talking about, again, the benefits that nobody talks about that you get from creating a consistent fitness nutrition routine.
Right.
And I mean, we haven't even talked about nutrition. I mean, not that we're going to, but if you can just say, look, if I one, show up today, and then two, get a little bit better than I was yesterday, right? That really, if you look at it a year, 2 years, 3 years from now, the amount of gain and progress that you make, you'll be astounded.
Yeah. And again, these are, because when I was training people, this was the biggest battle, was short-term gains and goals versus building habits.
Yeah.
There's a big difference there.
Yeah.
And the people that made the most progress over time, overall, were the ones that were changing their habits.
Yeah.
And what training has taught me is that immediate results they can come, right? By doing certain things, having surgery, taking steroids, whatever.
Yeah.
But am I really changing a habit of mine?
Yeah.
Right.
Is this really something I can sustain over the long term?
Let's just say, like, and this is not, this is not like eye-opening, brand new breaking news, right? But let's just say you're on a weight loss journey, right? And you're trying to say, hey, look, I want to lose 50 pounds. Imagine if you were to create habits with the mindset that, hey, I'm going to lose a pound a month. I'm not going to try to lose 5 pounds a week. I'm not going to try to lose a pound a day, whatever it is, right? That like all these things promise. I'm going to lose a pound a month, and I'm going to do it in a way that is changing a lifestyle, creating the habits that you're talking about. Okay. Year 1 is 12 pounds. Year 2, now you've got 5 years of just steady progress, and you look back. I mean, that is what 10, 15, 20 years from now is going to create the ultimate health, right? But it's the same thing with work. You take this and you say, okay, look, I'm going to take this. I'm not going to set this goal where, hey, I'm going to build a business and I'm going to exit for $100 million in 18 months. Like, people do it. It happens, right? It happens. But you say, okay, hey, I'm going to create a business that I'm okay running for the next 20 years. And I guarantee you'll put a better product out there that you know that you're invested in this thing, and I'm going to run this and I'm going to operate it like, hey, this is my livelihood for 20 years. Guess how many people are going to be knocking on your door trying to buy that thing?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Nutrition's a very tangible example. Again, I saw this all the time. They say 90% of people who lose weight end up gaining that weight back and then gaining more. 90%.
Yeah.
That is astonishing. And a lot of the reasons that I saw for that was because people weren't making habit changes. They were making dramatic changes. They were cutting severely on calories to be able to lose 5 pounds in a week. And that's awesome. That's going to get you a short-term goal. You're going to lose your 20 pounds quickly. The problem is once you lose that 20 pounds, you can't sustain the rest of your life on those.
You're going to start back over next January.
Right? You didn't change a habit. You just went. And again, there's certain times where maybe that is necessary. Maybe you do need to lose 20 pounds immediately today.
Yeah.
Right? But if you're not putting in the time and the effort and changing these habits, it's not going to sustain.
Right.
You're not going to not eat bread the rest of your life, more than likely, or sugar or whatever it is that you're cutting out and being extreme.
Yeah.
I believe, Elizabeth, you wanted to make a point real quick.
I didn't want to make a point. Well, I said surgery, and I know I'm young. I'm only 24, but I'm also shallow. But another reason why
Hey, we're all shallow. Trust me, we're all shallow.
Say that again. You're shallow, Elizabeth Prophet.
I want to say, okay, well, I have type 1 diabetes. I was diagnosed when I was 2. So another reason why I work out is because if I don't work out, like, I'll die.
Yes. Yeah.
That's another reason to stay healthy.
Absolutely.
Like,
You don't want to die at 20, 28. Yeah.
I don't want to die like at 12. Like I'm not gonna die at 24, but I'll probably die at like 35.
Right.
Because like I don't want to work, and I stopped working out a year after college because I was tired.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's hard, and being an athlete is hard.
Absolutely.
My blood sugar was like, and so I just learned like you don't have to run and do all those miles that you're doing in college, but like walk on the treadmill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do the little
That's
things.
awesome.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
awesome. I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if you couldn't hear that, she was saying how she has type 1 diabetes, and so working out for her is much more than just
it's about her life.
It
It's
is the
about
way she looks.
longevity.
Of course,
Yeah.
she wants to look good,
Right.
but for her, it's about longevity of
Longevity,
life,
yeah.
and living
That's
a
right.
healthy life.
Yeah.
Yep.
So absolutely. And then benefit number 4, which was going to be the last one, but then I thought of another one that we'll add at the end, a bonus one here. Benefit number 4 that nobody talks about: working out teaches you how to adjust your plan and think strategically. So I don't know about you guys. Me personally, I think it would be pretty awesome if I could just show up to the gym and do the same workout most
and over
days
again.
and
Yeah.
always see, like, I'm always going to see results from this
Yeah.
workout. I don't have to think about anything. I don't have to change anything. I'm just going to show up, punch the clock, and I'm always going to see results.
So you just don't do chest every day? You don't bench every day?
Oh, I do, but periodization, Darren. Sometimes I switch between chest and biceps. so.
Sometimes I do barbell, sometimes I do dumbbell.
No, but to continue to make progress over time, you have to change things up. You have to think strategically. Okay, I've hit a plateau here. I've stayed the same for a month. What do I need to change here?
Yep.
So it forces you to think creative. It forces you to think strategically.
Yeah.
What's my overall goal? All right, what are the small little steps that I can take to get there?
Yeah.
Take that to everyday life, and that translates to anything you
Yeah.
do. What's the overall goal? All right, how do I work backwards from that overall goal? What adjustments am I going to have to make along the way to get to where I want to
Yeah,
go?
and we say it all the time in our day job is, right? It's champions adjust. Being
Yeah.
able to adjust on the fly to not always do something that you're comfortable with. And
Right.
understand that, hey, look, if I, like you said, I plateaued in this, right? I can't get my mile down under 7 minutes, right?
Right.
And that's been my real goal. Okay, well, hey, maybe you change up your training. Maybe you incorporate some sprints into it, or maybe you incorporate some stadiums or stairs to create a different level of endurance instead of just running a track all the time, right? You're training yourself a different way, and you're always adjusting and figuring out. But I think the point with this that's really, really important is you have to self-reflect in order to do that.
Yeah.
Because if you're just like for me, that's what I was doing. It was like, okay, the same workouts that I did for 3 years. It was like, okay, the stuff that I did back in the past, but like modified so that it doesn't like hurt me like it used to.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to keep doing that. But like recognizing that, okay, hey, I'm creating something unique and different, and I'm intentional about it. It's not just showing up and doing it. It's creating a plan, but then monitoring your results. Like for me, I couldn't tell you what my 3-rep max was on anything for 3 years because I never recorded it, I never wrote it down, I never monitored. And now that like I'm actually within a program, like I'm seeing, okay, hey, what my 3-rep shoulder press is. I'm seeing what my power clean is. I'm seeing what these other things are that like I didn't do that really probably since college
Right.
and really record it. But if you don't have a baseline and you don't have something that you're actually monitoring and recording, then how are you supposed to understand how you're growing?
Yeah, and that's it. At some point during your workouts, you're going to start to plateau and you're going to start to flatten out. And I think the one thing about working out is that you never stop growing as far as the knowledge part of it. If you are plateauing, the greatest thing is you can call someone or do your own research, go online to look at something new that you're not doing.
Or just DM Gibbs Fitness 10 and he'll get you hooked up.
There you go. And that's who I just call Ben up. Say, hey, Ben, this ain't working for me anymore. Give me something else. But it does. It takes you out of your comfort zone to say, okay.
And his response typically is, Darren, stop doing Zumba classes. Get in the squat rack.
Now, I will caution people that does go back to number 3 because they call it program hopping. You do one program for 3 weeks, you get bored, you don't think this is working, and then you go, I got to go find the new program. I got to go find something else. So that does tie back into I do want people, because I've suffered from this, and I've seen a lot of people suffer from this. It's the program hopping and thinking the next thing is going to be the best.
Yeah, that's right.
But yeah, no, you're absolutely right, Darren. It's seeing that plateau. Okay, strategically, how am I going to overcome this?
That's right.
What can I do to overcome? We talked about kids. So I told the story last week. talking about adjustments, where we had this great plan.
right.
We were going to do this staycation.
Yeah.
I had to adjust at 2:30 in the morning, right? There
I
was
mean, was
no
it adjusting or was it quitting?
It was close, man. It was close.
Hey, when-
you were
hey,
borderline. You just quit.
Hey, when people start banging on the walls, when your neighbors start banging on the walls of the
You've
hotel.
never been in a hotel room and someone banged on the wall because you were making noise?
True.
You know what? Hey, Elizabeth, cover your ears. These two.
All right, to recap, the 4 benefits we talked about today that nobody talks about for working out. Number 1, working out teaches you the power of taking ownership. Number 2, working out teaches you how to do hard things. Number 3, working out teaches you how to keep going without immediate results. Number 4, working out teaches you how to adjust your plan and think strategically. And bonus reason, number 5, Darren, you brought it up earlier. I actually thought about this on my drive down. Bonus number 5 that nobody talks about, especially if they don't have kids, is it shows your kids you can walk the walk.
Yeah. Yeah.
You mentioned it earlier, Darren. The value, I can tell my kids to push through adversity. I can tell them not to quit. But isn't it better for me to show them every single morning at 4:30 a.m. when I wake up?
And it's not just working out. It's going to work.
Going to work.
Doing the little things around the house. It's doing the dishes when you've cooked and your wife, has worked her ass off. You get your butt up and do the little things. And that's, if we can just show those type of things. One of the things my wife does every day, she gets on that damn bike every morning. And my little dude walks in, he watches. That's the first thing he sees her doing. He's on that bike.
That's awesome.
That's work. She's putting that work in, and he'll always remember that. Hell, I remember it every day.
Yeah. My son, my 4-year-old son, he's the early riser of the family besides me, obviously. So every morning about 6:30, he comes into the garage. I have my own garage gym, thankfully. He comes in there and he messes around.
That's big time.
That's what I'm saying.
He,
Got your own.
Yeah,
Rich,
well,
bitch.
I live in a shed, but I have my own home gym. No, but he comes out there, and I don't tell him anything. I don't encourage him to do anything. He just starts picking up weights. He'll start doing squats. He'll hang from the bar and do pull-ups. Like, he just wants to be out there with me. He wants to
Ben's
spend
kid's
time
gonna
with me.
beat up my kid. For sure.
And he's in jiu-jitsu, so he is the deadliest
And he's
4-year-old, But seriously, I could tell him to work out when he's 16, right? Why not show him for the first 16 years of his life?
Yeah.
The value and the importance of training and working
I mean,
out
I
and what it
can't
does
tell
for
you, like, just them watching us do things. Like, my 7-year-old is obsessed with mowing the lawn. Like, it's not because he thinks it's fun. It's because he saw me doing it all the time, right? And it's like, I want to do that. I want to do that. I want to do that. And I couldn't agree more, right? Is you show them your passion, not by like your excitement, but your consistency in it. And how much do our kids want to emulate the things that we do as parents? And what a powerful tool that you can give your kids. What a gift that you can give your kids for them to recognize the importance of being physically active.
Yeah. Hey, so like we started, if looks all you're after, go for it. More power to you.
Yeah, if that's what drives
that
you.
That drove me for the longest time.
Absolutely. Go
what
get
I've
it.
learned over the last few years, though, is there's more to it than that, and I've received a lot more benefits than the physical look that I was after. So hopefully that helps you guys. Hopefully you can think about these things, and hopefully that gets you out of bed in the morning and makes you think about beyond just the physical benefits of training. We're on all social medias, LinkedIn. We just got a LinkedIn page. We're starting to grow that a little bit. We've got an Instagram. We've got a Twitter. We've got a TikTok. All right, at Darren Woodson Show and all those things. We've got a YouTube channel. So if you like to see how good we look from all of our working out, you want to see us on YouTube.
Man.
Dang it, I forgot. We're supposed to let you do these promos.
I don't know why you don't, man. I was ready for today too.
Yeah, you were.
I was, man. I was
You
ready
were.
to go.
Well, did you put it on a teleprompter for him
TikTok.
to read?
We do need a teleprompter.
Hey,
This dude is gold on it. Gold on the teleprompter.
Everything on that teleprompter.
we joke, but in all seriousness, you guys following us on these different platforms, it really does make a difference in the fact that we've had guests in the past that ask, what's our following like? How many people are we reaching? They ask us these questions because they're trying to figure out, is it worth my time or not?
Right.
And so when you guys follow us on these different social media platforms, when you leave us reviews on
means a
iTunes,
lot. Yeah.
it does so much more than just feed our ego. And that it does that. We do appreciate that. But it really does help us grow the following. It helps more people learn about this. And the way it benefits you personally is it's going to help us get better guests, because the bigger name guests, they get asked all the Darren, you get asked all the time. What's the first question you ask me whenever somebody asks you to be on their podcast?
Yeah.
What's their following like?
Yeah.
What's their show about?
Yeah.
Right?
That's their mission.
That's what people want to know. They want to know, is it worth their time? So you guys are a big help in helping us grow this thing.
right.
We love you guys. We appreciate your support. We wouldn't do this without you. Thank you so much. Have a good rest of the week.
Thanks.